So you can talk at that camera, but that one's on you. All right. Yo. Here we are, another episode. Boom with the team. I'm B Hart Bowman. You know how we doing it. I'm here with a special guest. The reason we here, the new head coach of NIMITZ High School. Introduce yourself, coach.
How you doing, man? My name is Coach Carrington. I go by Coach Carro. I'm the new head boys basketball coach at Irvin NIMITZ High School.
All right, yes, sir. So I do want to get to know you a little bit, or for the ones that don't know you, just kind of ask you some questions. So just if you can explain to the masses who you are, where you from, just a little bit about you, real quick.
All right, my name is Coach Carro. I'm from Houston, Texas. Born and raised. First came up to Dallas, played basketball at Paul Quinn College, Dallas, Texas. That's why I really kind of fell in love with the city. I graduated, went back down to Houston and was working in Walmart logistics for a while, and never really just something I really wanted to do. Really just kind of went because the money was good. But I always had a passion for coaching and teaching, so I got an opportunity to start teaching at Crosby High School as an audio video teacher. And down there, Coach Egan's gave me my first start in the coaching world and really showed me a lot and laid down that foundation for me. Spent 4 years at Crosby, left Crosby, went to Sheldon ISD, worked at CE King, worked with Coach Jackson there. While we were there, we took the basketball team. They moved to 6A, so we were a part of the first staff and team that made the playoffs in 6A. I then took another job at South Houston for a year before getting the opportunity to move up to Dallas and work with Nick Smith and Kimball. Uh, Going up there, man, and really just kind of getting embedded into the Dallas culture and just really falling in love. I was a Houston guy. Well, I am a Houston guy, but I was one of those Houston guys that was like, man, you know, they talking about Dallas this, Dallas that, man. Like it ain't like that, and man, we just got we can do this in Houston, and man, they never showing our players love, and, all that, just kind of just naive talk until I came up to Dallas, and I was like, whoa, it's it's different here. Like I remember my first day in the gym, I saw a kid go on 3-on-2, 2-on-1 back, and the kid like jumped up, one hand tomahawk backwards, dunked on the kid, and I remember no one saying anything, and I'm in there like about to lose my mind. Like, did y'all just see what he did? But the kid, he did that so much that it was normal, and every time I went out in Dallas, like those were normal plays. Like, a lot of these guys that we seeing in the NBA right now is I've been watching them since I've been in Dallas. I've been watching them in the gyms and fall leagues, and boss league, and Carter shootout, the Gasso, and I'm seeing these kids every day, and these kids were lottery picks, but that just shows you like the competition level. And I remember calling my boy in Houston one time when I was up here. I said, "Hey, bro," I said, "I know I'm gonna sound crazy." I said, "But Houston don't stand a chance." And yeah, and he was like, "Man, you turned into a Dallas dude." I said, "Bro, I'm not, but I'm just I only can say what. Yeah, I gotta be real. Like at the end of the day, like I pride myself on being real and not being biased. And you know, so I mean, results look at state championship this year. You had 7 teams from the DFW area win state convincingly, but it just shows like the talent level that's out here. Like I mean, I really feel like Dallas, Texas, or the let me not exclude everybody. The DFW area, the DFW area has the best basketball in the country. It is not close in the country. DFW area has the best basketball. I mean, it's ridiculous out here. Like even your subpar teams, you would say just because their record might look bad, but there's some dogs on that team. But it just goes to show you like the type of competition that you're playing out here. Like you really have to bring it night in and night out. There is no easy. You might look see a team and they 3-15, but they got a 6'7" kid monster on there.
I was just gonna say the 4A. The 4A. I learned this year my first time covering DFW basketball, DFW sports really, but the 4A with Carter, Lincoln, Kimball, these other schools is like, yeah, like you were saying, like, yeah, some of them might be at the top, but some that's a little bit lower still got dogs on them. Like Lincoln had dogs on them, and they just happen to be in a district full of other dogs. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough. So I wanted you. I'm glad you gave us that introduction because I know you guys you won a state championship 2 years ago as an assistant, right? So what is basketball taught you coming from like an assistant coach to now you Shea School as a head coach now? Like what have you learned over the years that you starting to build your wave of players and your way of how you want basketball ran? How would you say that it's been teaching you?
Man, first thing I'll say, shout out to Nick Smith, man, because he gave me the recipe. And what I tell these places that give me an opportunity is, you know, if you were a cook at Popeyes for 20 years and you see the ingredients they put in, you see the seasoning, you see the flour, you see where they fry the chicken. If you go home and you cook chicken the same way, is that not Popeye's chicken? It is. So just because I go to a different place, if I know the recipe, it's just a different kitchen, but I'm still trying to cook up that championship mindset, that championship team. And so I feel like I have the recipe. Again, kind of going to the success that I had in Molina, which was an improvement from what Molina has been in the years. Yeah, playoff basketball team. First time since I think 2018. We had the most wins. They haven't had more wins than we did this year since 2012. But it's not even that. It's after the game when the other coach or the other parents come up to me and they say, "Man, coach, like I don't know what we thought we were gonna get tonight, but this wasn't it." Like kind of shocked. Like even if they were able to get a win against us, they was like, "Coach, this is different." You know, and so I remember talking to one of my coaches one time, and I said, "Man, I know some of the stuff I do and say might sound crazy." I said, "But it works. It works. I seen it done on a high level now. Granted, every place is not gonna be Kimball. Kimball I think is set up in a lot of ways to be successful, along with having the recipe. Like you have a strong community that believes and backs those guys over there. Yeah, it's the legacy in it, and one thing Kimball taught me is it takes everybody. It's not just the players on the court. It's not just the basketball coach. It's the principals. It's the community. It's the teachers. It's the alumni. And like that's what you get at Kimball, and it's also the expectation. Like my we won state my first year there, and the second year there we lost in the second round. And for a lot of programs, going to second round is a accomplishment. And we no, like we get back to school the day after the second round. It's normally like I've been at schools that made the playoffs and lost first round or went to the second round, and you go back to school and it's almost like you got a parade, or people understand that you heard about the loss, so they're not gonna mess with you. Kimball, they walk up to you and man, what was that? What was that? Like man, like second round, and it's almost like what? But you know, but that's the culture that they have built there. You know, uh, they're expected to go to San Antonio. Like it's people right now at Kimball that's probably booking hotel rooms for next, next year. Like it's almost like at Kimball they used to having two spring breaks. You got the week of state, and then you got your spring break after that. So, but that culture has to be built. And Kimball been doing this since the '90s. So it's not gonna happen overnight. Here but I know what it looks like. I know how to get results. It's just about getting everybody to buy in. And again, another thing that I learned at Kimball, it ain't about me. You know, like I can never be big headed or anything like that because coaches can be replaced. At the end of the day, they go find somebody that can wash jerseys and pass them back out. Like coaching ain't as complicated as people actually want to make it seem. It's about someone showing up being professional and just grinding. And you always ain't gonna get the limelight or the everybody saying it's you. You know, you can't be in it for that reason. You just gotta just love what you do.
Okay, okay. So, so for all the Viking family out there, the Viking supporters, Viking players, Viking parents, what would you want them to know that you bringing to Nimitz that's going to put Irving on the map, but put Nimitz on the map as well? Because you know you got a lot of surrounded by a lot of talent. You can go south to the Soto, you can go north to the Capel Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? And the you know I can you can name all day, but I'm saying how you gonna put Nimitz like on the map? How you gonna plant that flag?
So the biggest thing is gonna be, we want urban kids in urban. Um, you know, this my goal is for Nimitz to be the mecca of basketball in urban. Is that when they think of urban, they think of Nimitz as far as basketball wise. Excuse me. So that's my main thing is to make the program look attractive. Getting down to my middle schools, putting on events here. We got summer league coming up. You really gotta create culture, and creating culture is the hardest thing to do. It's to create culture, and it's gonna be uncomfortable. Um, I like to tell my parents, my players, we got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable because winning is uncomfortable. Like a losing program can go out here and they can roll the balls out, and everybody can come in here and they can shoot shots and they can do crossovers and they can get scored on, get the ball stolen from them, and we can walk through the handshake line and high five everybody, and we can go about our day. That's easy to do. It's hard to come in here and dive on the floor, take charges, run as hard as you can, be down 20 and try to make a comeback, play against a Division 1 player and shut him down. Like those things are hard, you know. But if you look at the teams that have that culture, they have success year in and year out, but they're graduating players. So it is like, of course, the players are a plus, but that culture is what's needed to keep it. So, we're going to have a basketball culture here in Nimitz. We're going to have a hard culture. We are not going to be any easy outs for anybody. I always tell my kids, we look at it as disrespect when people schedule you for homecomings and feeder nights and senior nights. Like, nah, you don't want to play us for that. Why would you want to play us for that? We're coming to pop that bubble. So you don't want to play us for that. And you know, but that I'll tell my teams like that shows you what people think about you. When they schedule those type of events when they play you, because when they I can't tell you how many times at Kimball where it was a school's feeder night when Kimball came in the gym, where it was a senior night when Kimball came in the gym. You know, where it was a special occasion. Nah, those Kimball games when we come in somebody else's gym, they just trying to have a game and go home. They're not gonna set nothing up unless your senior night is your last game of the year and you just already had that on the schedule. That's just what you're gonna do the last home game. But it's respect. And so to answer the question, we're gonna be respected. And I think I put that on my post. Is I want that more than anything. Is for people to look at the schedules, be like, man, we got Nimitz. Ooh, it's gonna be tough. Ooh, we don't know what they got, but they're gonna be scrappy. We finna leave out here with stitches and band-aids and wraps.
That's gonna be my next question. So, like, what's and you don't gotta let the cat out the bag, but just kind of give us a little glimpse or a little teaser. Like, what type of players do you look for that you feel like you can roll the ball out with, and they gonna show up for Coach Carroll?
So it's really the players that show up. You only can coach with walk in the gym, and so the guys that show up are gonna get the work. And so it's gonna be hard. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell my parents this, my players this. It's gonna be hard for you to just show up in October for trials. I think you got a chance to make the team or make varsity or start. Like you're gonna have to be a special player to do something like that because we're gonna play so hard. And a lot of kids don't understand what playing hard is. Think playing hard is, yeah. A lot of people think playing hard is just running fast. That's not playing hard. A lot of people think playing hard is showing up, and showing up is half the battle. But I heard one time, you don't want to confuse habit with hard work. We all need habit. Habit is showing up every day, being what you're supposed to be. Like that's habit. But hard work is like you showing up and you in workouts but your shirt dry. You know, hard work, you're sweating. Your shirt is soaked. That's how I can tell if a kid worked hard. And so really showing everybody what hard work is and pushing and not being like your parents gonna tell you, man, you did amazing. I'm gonna tell you you did amazing if you really did amazing. Like if you came out here and you bust your butt, you did everything you can, and it ain't got nothing to do with scores or points. You know, because it's somebody be a kid who has 0 points that gave me everything he had and he played amazing. But I'm here to critique you, pick at your game, tell you what you need to get better at, and then we come in here and we work and we get you better in what you work at. And so, just hard work is all that. Coming in here, busting your butt every day, willing to be coachable, willing to get pushed harder. Uh, you know, player A scoring 20 points ain't the same as player D scoring 20 points. Player D scoring 20 points might be amazing, but player A might have should have had 30. He might have missed 5 free throws. He might have missed 3 layups.
You wouldn't get the same enthusiasm for the same thing.
Well, I get the same enthusiasm, but everybody got different roles. So I tell people all the time, like basketball is not an equal opportunity sport. The good players make the team, the best players start, and the best player get the ball in his hand. And so that's what basketball is. It's just the way the game is made. And so my best player, they got the ball in his hand. You got more opportunities. So I'm gonna be ecstatic if my third guy off the bench comes in and hits 4 threes. Yeah, But if my starter is out there going 0 for 6, from 3 point line, he's coming out the game and he's getting blown on defense and he not making no shots. He being careless. Like we gonna have something to talk about. He doesn't get a pass because he's the best player. But he has a higher expectation. Everybody's gonna be raised to a standard. Everybody's standard is gonna be different. We have a team standard about winning, but everybody has to have their role and buy in it. I got my role as a coach. And it's not to hold these guys back. It's to prepare them to play in the game, and that's what I want to do every game is make sure that my players are prepared to go into these battles. We're not rolling the ball out. We did film, we practiced, we went over game plan, we simulated game, we did situation. Like I'm preparing you to go in here and battle. Now I can't dribble, I can't make a pass, I can't get a steal, I can't shoot, I can't free throws, I can't rebound. I can't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's yo Jimmy's versus my Joes. You know what I'm saying? I hope my Joes is better that night. But I'm gonna make sure that we're prepared.
I'm anxious to see because you come from the what he called the Nick Popovich tree. So I'm pretty sure you about to load this preseason schedule up so you can see what you really got, right?
Well, the schedule's kind of already been made this year. And so, but I think I got a little wiggle room to get into some stuff. We're gonna be in some competitive things. Uh, Things that I can control is, we'll more likely be in the Gassos, we'll be in the Boss League, we'll be in the Carter shootouts. It's all about getting the kids out here in Irving to see basketball at a higher level. Because sometimes, this is a small little city, so
Yeah, you can't talk about the history of urban basketball.
yeah. So I mean, I think kind of like what I said earlier, man, I think Irving has a lot of talent out here. They're just not necessarily staying in Irving. And I could be wrong, but I think it's a situation where people feel like they can get more exposure elsewhere. And that's why I want to be able to use my connections. Like you said, being from that Nick Popovich Nick Popovich coaching tree. Uh, Yeah, yeah. So the connections. You know what I'm saying? I've seen how Nick was able to create schedules and put those marquee games up, and those are things that that kids want. And as a coach, you got to realize sometimes it ain't all about you. Like I remember wanting to play the crosstown rival, and that being the hypest game of the year. Sometimes these kids really like the crosstown rival's cool, but guess what? Playing Duncanville is cooler. Playing playing DeSoto is cooler. Playing Lancaster, playing North Crowley, like those games with those high level players. Those are sometimes what your kids want. And so I got to meet these kids out here and figure out the things that attract them and what they want and what they want to do. And hey, if playing the crosstown rivals is the big thing, then we'll center everything around that. But if they're like, hey, coach, man, we kind of want to go see what it's like to play against a Kimball, a James Madison, a Plano East.
Would you strive for those type of games?
Nah, what you mean? You say
Like, would you like? So, would you want to go play like a Beaumont Unite? Like, how
yeah,
they
yeah. I mean, I think the opportunity.
prep schools?
Yeah, I think the opportunity has presented itself. We're not just putting people on the schedule just so we can say we played.
Yeah.
We're not ready for those type of competition yet. But the opportunity got to present itself, and so I think going into the future when I'm able to build this program up, and then we start getting those type of invites and saying, hey man, I want NIMITZ to play such and such. I need NIMITZ to play this kid, this team, and that team, or NIMITZ has a star on their team. He needs to go play against this star at this other school, and but we don't want to just be blinded and say because I can go out there right now and throw the top 10 teams in the state in there, but what's that go get us right now? Probably a lot of hurt feelings. And so you don't want to do your team like that, but it's all about if you want to play those type of teams, man, then guess what? We got to practice like those type of teams. We got to prepare like those type of teams. We got to get ourselves to a culture mentality to be against those type of teams because those teams are going to be ready. You know, are we going to be ready? Well, that's time's only can tell if we're going to be ready. But those other teams are going to be ready to go.
Okay, okay. Well, I appreciate you for taking time out to kick it with me. Uh, you know, this is a new beginning for you, and I wanna be a part of it. So I can see you get this. I want to see this whole gym filled. When this November get here. I want to see Nimitz on social media going crazy down the time. Like, hey, y'all seen the Nimitz game? Y'all don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see that. So, I appreciate you for taking time out. Tell Deuce I said what up, little Deuce, and we're gonna post this, and you gonna see all of us. Like, it's gonna be large, bro. But appreciate you, and